call roll.
Freeholder Bobadilla. Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Here.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano,
Now you know how you sound.
absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Here.
Freeholder Sebo, absent. Freeholder Toro.
Present.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Here. Thank you. Please stand to salute our flag, and I'm going to ask if Freeholder Toro please lead us in the salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence, and again mention certainly in honor of those who have been affected by the Hurricane Matthew. Thank you. I have before me a certification from the clerk that this meeting is indeed in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay. Are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay. Let's move to public comment session. For members of the public who are here this evening or who are at home watching on television, tonight's meeting is a board meeting, and we will vote on every item that was previously discussed at our last meeting, which is called a conference meeting. So you may see that this meeting moves quite quickly, and it's simply because these items have been discussed in leadership meetings as well as at our previous meeting. At this point in time, if there's any member of the public wishing to comment on agenda items only, please come forward, state your name and affiliation for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect we have no member of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only. Do we have any member of the public wishing to speak on any issue at all? Madam Clerk, let the record reflect we have no member of the public wishing to speak on any issue at all. We're going to close public comment session. Moving on, do we have any ordinances on introduction and first reading?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, do we have any ordinances or resolutions for listing purposes only?
Madam President, we have none.
Do we have any ordinances or resolutions on second reading
Madam President, we have none.
and public hearing? Okay, then please move to resolution number 10 and read.
Madam President, this is an added starter. Resolution 10, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award to TSUJ Corp., the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, to provide for the installation of bollard lighting at skating area at South Orange Mountain Recreation Complex, 90-day contract, amount not to exceed $119,707.
Okay. Mr. Chilala?
Ms. Collins.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Can you
Good
please
evening.
explain?
Good evening, Madam President and members of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. For the record, I'm Deborah Collins, Director of Small Business Development and Affirmative Action and Deputy County Administrator for the County of Essex. This is a contract, a 90-day contract, in an amount not to exceed $119,707. 6 bids were received from 10 potential vendors. The funding's coming out of capital. And Dan Katsevich, President of TSUJ, is here to take any questions you may have. Mr. Katsevich.
Please come forward. State your name and affiliation for the record and tell us a bit about the contract. And talk in the microphone, please. Thank you.
Dan Katsevich.
Thank you. Can you please tell us a bit more about the contract?
This is my second contract with the county. I just did exactly the same work in spring. Now this contract has 40 bollards. I installed 47. I believe everything went well. Nobody complained. The contract was finished in time. So I'm absolutely familiar with this work.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Ms. Salam? I almost called you Mr. Polavecchio. Ms. Salam?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, freeholders? Okay, thank you. And you said that you've done previous contracts before?
Yes.
How many did you do?
This is the second one with the county.
This is the second one, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Action will be taken tonight. Madam Clerk, please move to resolution number 55 and read.
Madam President, this is an added starter, Resolution 55, Essex County Utilities Authority, resolution authorizing the execution and delivery by the county of the Third Amendment to amend and restated solid waste agreement by and between the County of Essex, New Jersey, and the Essex County Utilities Authority with respect to an integrated solid waste management system.
Ms. Collins.
Yes, Madam President. This is a current ECUA issuing solid waste refunding revenue bonds of $8 million. However, Mark Acker is here from our Treasury Department to explain to you in greater detail.
Mr. Acker?
Good evening. As Deborah started to explain, the Utilities Authority is in the process of issuing not to exceed $8 million in refunding bonds. They're going to take out a portion of the 2006 issue. By virtue of the freeholders taking action, positive action on this resolution, those bonds, the 2016 bonds, will be included in the amended solid waste agreement, which secures the debt service payments on these bonds.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
Mr. Acker, this in no way really affects the finances of the transaction, is that correct?
Correct.
It's strictly getting the language into the solid waste plan.
Correct. And again, by virtue of adopting this resolution, the 2016 bonds will be secured by the solid waste agreement. The bonds are projected to achieve approximately $450,000 in savings through 2022. But again, it just allows these bonds to be secured by the solid waste agreement, which means they're covered under the deficiency agreement between the authority and the county.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ms. Salam?
No questions.
Freeholders? Any questions for Mr. Acker? Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, it's to my understanding that resolutions 1 through 3, 15 through 54 were already read into the record at our last meeting.
That is correct, Madam President.
Okay.
And they were fully discussed.
And they were discussed, okay? Freeholders, is there anyone that needs me to extract from a collective vote resolutions 1 through 55? Freeholder Richardson.
15, I'm able to vote in the affirmative for all of the rest of them, except for 15. I will be voting present, not voting on
Okay.
15.
Freeholders? Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to call a collective vote for resolutions 1 through 10, 16 through 55. Do I have a mover and a second?
Move it.
Moved by Freeholder Richardson.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson. Absent. Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel, absent. Freeholder Toro.
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Freeholders, moving to resolution number 15. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Do I have a mover and a second?
Move.
Moved by Freeholder Toro.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Vice President Gill. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Toro.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Recognizing Freeholder Luciano, now present with us. Freeholder Luciano, we just called to vote resolutions 1 through 55. These were items that were discussed at our last meeting with the exception of 55 as well as resolution number 10. I'll give you a moment to take a look at it. Because this is our Freeholder Board meeting, this is when action items are voted on, which is why, if you're here watching or if you're at home watching, that you see the agenda moving quite rapid.
Yes, I'd like to vote in the affirmative for
Okay.
all.
Resolutions 1 through 55.
Correct.
Thank you. Are there any report of board committees? Do we have any legislative reports? Okay. Well, I would like to make mention to something. There is a piece of legislation that I am working on. It's called the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders Clean Jobs Initiative. This has already been in draft form sent to the administration, as well as work sessions set aside for each freeholder. In essence, what the piece of legislation is going to attempt to do is create jobs throughout our county by way of creating a training program that builds a workforce that can be utilized to clean up brownfield, vacant and abandoned lots, or abate lead and asbestos, which we know is an issue with infrastructure really throughout our country. This is something that will provide a true skill that will put people in position to really provide for their families. After the training program, the goal is to then ensure that they are put to work and have enough work. And this is something that they can use as a skill throughout the world, as there is no shortage of contamination really throughout the entire world, not just New Jersey and our nation. Do you have any questions or comments? Okay. Moving forward, is there any written communication? Any unfinished business? Any new business to discuss? Now we're moving to public comment session again. If there's any member of the public wishing to comment on any issue at all, please come forward. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect we have no member of the public wishing to comment on any issue at all. Now moving to freeholder comment session. If there's any freeholders that'd like to comment on anything. Freeholder Luciano.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, Mr. Mayor, how are you tonight?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Believe it or not, I've had quite a few communities, and when I say communities, not elected officials, but their liaison, whether it be town manager or town administrator, ask if the county was the one that was painting these blue lines in the middle of the road. And I really don't know anything about it. And, you know, part of the ask was, if you did it in this town, Freeholder, can you speak to the county to do it on a county road in our town? Now, I'm going to put it on public record. I'm not even really aware of this. I don't really know what's going on. So are you familiar with it? Anyone from the administration or what's going on?
Through you, Madam President. Yes, I am Freeholder. In a number of towns going up Bloomfield Avenue, it's a show of expression for police forces. There have been, between the two yellow lines, there have been painted a blue line in between as a show of support for local police departments, and it's actually done by the municipality with the permission of the county.
Okay. So I think then that answers my question, that the county is willing to allow it to happen, but it's something the municipalities have to do on their own. This isn't something that we've done.
Correct.
Okay. I appreciate that, and thank you, because, and that sounds like a very noble thing. I don't know, do you know offhand how many towns have done this, or is this just the beginning of?
I think all, through you again, Madam President, I think all the Caldwells, I think, have done it. We're going to do it shortly, and I believe other towns will be joining in up and down Bloomfield Avenue.
Okay, maybe just a note to the administration then, if you know the towns are going to do this, maybe it's something then we should put out, from the county, whether it's from the administration, the freeholders, or both, that this is something that's, a trend that's happening, and if any municipality would like some help or would like permission from the county, we'd be willing to help out in any way. If you guys find that that would be helpful, Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Freeholders? Any comments? Okay, hearing none. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.